Let's talk about why I replaced my tank bag with a tailback and why I picked this particular one. Stay tuned. What's up my biker friends, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about why I replaced my tank bag with a tailback. I'm going to go into why I did it and how I picked the one that I picked. But before we get into the why part, I have to back up a little bit and talk about why I'm using a tank bag in the first place. Now, a tank bag is actually really convenient of having quick access to some of the stuff that you need quick access to on a tour. Most of my camera stuff, my drone, replacement batteries, pair of gloves, sunglasses, all that sits in the tank bag. And I was really never a friend of tank bags. I always thought the tank bags are sort of in the way. I never liked the large design that most of these tank bags have. You know, they come with 13 to 20 liters of volume. It was always too big for me. So the tank bag that I chose for the past few years is actually a tank bag that's quite a bit smaller. It has about 8 to 9 liters of capacity. It's promised to be waterproof. And it's actually a tank bag that I used on my 1200 GS. It's actually made by BMW. Now, I said it was promised to be waterproof because I had one incident where actually water leaked into the tank bag, but most of the design is mostly waterproof, which is a whole lot better than probably 95% of most of the luggage system and tank bags out on the market. Now, riding with the tank bag was always a compromise. Riding with some piece of luggage that's sitting right in front of you, sort of blocking movements. Having a smaller tank bag just kind of reduced that inconvenience a little bit and gave you the convenience of having a little bit of storage up front. So that worked really well for me for on-road. It didn't for off-road. So it gets me to the why part, why I'm actually stepping away from a tank bag and now looking at an alternative. Last year when we were in the West Alps riding some of the gravel and off-road tracks that we're riding there, the tank bag really got in the way. On the first day, we were riding the Asieta track, and that's not a really difficult track. There's not a lot of up and down, and even there in the standing up position, I would always hit the tank bag, and that was really annoying. So that for the remaining 5 days, I would actually take the tank bag off and not bring it along with me. Now, I didn't really have a better solution than having the tail bag that I have from Enduristan. It doesn't have a lot of volume, and it's kind of inconvenient to get into it because it's kind of a roll top. So it did in the pickle, but it wasn't really a solution that was going to work going forward. So now when you're deciding to go away from a tank bag and you still need that storage, the next best place where you can put it is obviously the tail section of the bike. There's tons of products out there that make tail bags, and now I'm getting to the part why I picked this particular one and not some of the other ones. Well, there are actually two things that are really important to me in a luggage in general, motorcycle luggage. It has to hold the volume that is promised and hold it in one place. And the second thing is that it actually has to be waterproof. I mean, what point does it make to have any piece of luggage that is not waterproof on a motorcycle that's exposed to the elements? And that kind of brings me to the biggest gripe I have with the market and the products that are available on the market. 95% of the luggage that's out on the market is not waterproof. It's water resistant, but it means that water will still get to the inside of the bag. That means 95% of the products on the market are actually garbage design, in my opinion. Luckily, there's a growing community of adventure riders, and a lot of these companies that tailor to those adventure riders, the people that spend a lot more time off-road, that are looking for luggage that is lightweight and waterproof, have brought a lot of great products on the market. And one of these manufacturers is actually Enduristan. I've always liked the design. It's very simple. All of their stuff is waterproof. It looks great. There's very little moving parts on the bags. Always like that. When I started looking for a tailback, I was actually looking at Enduristan products, but then I came across Touratech's latest design, which is the Touratech Extreme series, and I have a tailback that looks incredibly similar to the Enduristan product. That's the bag that I'm talking about. This is the tail bag. So if you're seeing an Enduristan product, it looks almost identical. And it's not because it's a ripoff from Touratech. There's actually a collaboration between Enduristan and Touratech. And in a lot of cases, Touratech makes little design tweaks to the existing products just to make it their own. Now, there are actually 3 reasons why I like the Touratech design over the original Enduristan design. And one of the major things that I really like about this particular tail bag is actually that you can expand it. It has an extra zipper that's in here so you can expand it. I'm going to expand it for you and show you. So there's a small zipper that you can use and just kind of open the entire perimeter up, it sort of expands the volume of the entire tank bag. So it goes from the original 8 liters to 12 liters. And I thought that made a lot of sense to me, being able to expand the volume on the tailback. A lot of times you bring luggage and you put everything in there when you leave, but then maybe you have an inner liner or gloves or something you want to get rid of, and all of a sudden the capacity isn't enough. So having the opportunity to expanding the volume to the tailback was a big plus for me. The second reason why I like the Touratech design over the original Enduristan design is the Enduristan tailback actually has little sort of clips or hooks that require you to have some kind of a tail rack on your motorcycle. Now my KTM comes with a tail rack standard, so it wouldn't have been a problem to use that. But the Touratech bag actually allows me to get rid of the tail rack entirely and lose the 1.5 kilograms that the tail rack weighs, and I can actually mount it straight onto the bike without actually the necessity of using the tail rack. And the third thing that I really like is the original idea that Enduristan had of sort of having the inner liner of the bag be a different color than the outer black shell. So it'd be easier to see the stuff that you put in the bag or any kind of other luggage. There's an entire series of luggage that they have. And they basically use the same idea. Instead of using the red that Enduristan is using, they're using the yellow. So you get the Touratech yellow and you can just tell it's really, really easy to see what you've got in the bag. Now, it doesn't make a huge difference with a tail bag, but all the bags in that lineup have the similar design. So if you have a duffel bag or some of these saddle bags that are much deeper in the pockets, the yellow actually makes a lot of sense. Now, there's actually one thing that I didn't like about the original design that I made little tweaks to on this particular design. It was pretty easy to do because you can take parts from the Enduristan lineup. And that's actually how you mount the tail bag onto the tail section. Now, the initial design basically had these little loops in here. So you had to take the strap and loop it through here. And you see already what I've done to it. I've used these snap buckles, the same snap buckles that you can get for any Enduristan bag. It's just an accessory that you buy. So I have snap buckles on either side, and I can use the straps that I already have with the existing Enduristan bag that now actually stay and remain on the bike, which makes for a really simple click and play solution. It takes only seconds now to mount the tail bag on the tail section, and the straps can remain on the motorcycle. So that made a lot of sense. Now, there isn't really a whole lot to talk about the features of the bag, but I'll just get into it really quickly. I'm going to show the inner compartment already. It's really just an open single compartment that you can have. Obviously, there's a little storage bag that you can, little net in here that is Velcroed. So you can put little things like tools or something in here. So it's really, really basic, enough for what I need it for. Then on the outside, you have a similar mesh. It's kind of the standard mesh that you see on most of the Enduristan products as well. And you've got little bungee cords that out here. I already have something strapped in here, so that's not part of the bag. But yeah, you can use it for outer storage, and that's pretty useful, for a pair of gloves or something that you just want to attach to the bag. That kind of makes sense. Now, the thing with all the Enduristan products and now Touratech products in the waterproof lineup is to have these waterproof zippers. You can see these are waterproof zippers. So that's just one part of the zipper that is waterproof, but there's a second line of defense, which is better to see if you actually open it up a bit. So in case there is water coming in, you have sort of this rain gutter here. So, and it's just a little elevated. So even if there's water coming in, it basically collects up here and it's not going to go to the inside of the bag. It's a really simple design. And the thing I don't understand is why other manufacturers are unable to produce something so simple. It's nice to have a zipper top. It's a bit harder to open and close, but it's fully waterproof. So this is basically what it looks like when it's closed up. Again, pretty simple design. It's actually sort of a sturdy wall that is keeping the volume into the same shape. There's a little handle on the back here, so you can carry it easier. And then the mounting plate, it's kind of soft. So it basically fits to whatever base plate you're attaching to. If you have a bit of a fender or something that is not a straight design, it'll actually bend a little bit. That's basically what I have on the KTM now. It's not sort of flat mounting point anymore. It just curves a little bit, but it's pretty easy with this one here because it will actually then stay in place. Now, I've just bought the tailbag. I haven't been able to use it yet. The plan was to take it to the Norway trip and have all my camera gear, or at least most of the camera gear that I'm using on the bike, put the drone in here and all my cameras and batteries. That's why I needed it to be waterproof, but I haven't put any miles on it yet. But I'm quite happy with the design and I can't wait to actually use it. Alrighty guys, so this is it. A quick introduction to why I changed from a tank bag to a tail bag. Of course, that had implications for the rest of the luggage system, but that's for another video. I hope you found it somewhat useful. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you have comments or questions, please put them in the comments section, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, ride safe and stay awesome.